Oh, yeah. Full back power. It tricked all of you. I had Carrie on all day long, too. I told her, I was like, she's like, you got power? I'm like, nope. I'm going to be on my, I'm going to be on the Fire HD tonight. But I tricked her. I tricked all of you. Back full power today. I'll tell you the story. We'll get into that. We're going to be basically addressing more Idaho in this stream tonight. I have some channel drama that we're going to address and put to rest tonight. We're going to talk tomorrow night is Turtle Boy. We'll be back live on the show. And then Thursday night, we'll have the Glarer on here as well. So double combo meal deal. Bang, bang, bang. Can't wait. Very exciting stuff. I want to check I haven't done this. Let's check the chatty chat. Because we gotta get a little bit into the stream here a little bit. Carrie's in here. Says, welcome everyone. Brian's power still out. I got you. Cindy B here. Rogue, good to see you. Glad you're feeling better. Kimberly, blah, 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 is here. Nice to see you. Dina's here. Thank you for being here. Danielle is here always. Allie's in the house. V Caster's in the house. Welcome. New name in the chat. Matt's over here. Nice to see you back, Matt. Turtle Boy tomorrow night. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for the Glare on Thursday. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good show. They're both going to be action-packed. Everybody's giving everybody the Tanya hellos. We know she's watching. Always watches me. Everybody's saying I suck. Throwing those turtles up. Good to see that. Thank you. Lily Black in the house. Nice to see you. Twisted Crime Scene in the house. Love that. Avatar, by the way. That's sick, bro. Pollock is back. Nice to see you. Susan over here all the time. Wow. Wild week. Yes. Wild week. Ron Jones in the house. What up, dude? Saw you on the second channel the other night. That was really, really fun. I got to do some more Fell Dog streams. We're going to do go back and look at some of those old Arsenio videos. Those were fun. Kristen in the house. Minnesota over here as well. No candlelight tonight. No, we're full back power. Maybe I'll do a candlelight stream again soon. But I had to get full back power. We gotta ramp it up tonight. We're getting ready for Turtle Boy, the Glare. It's gonna be such a fantastic week of streaming. We're gonna talk Karen Reed with the Glare. I want to get into this Idaho. I want to get into Karen Reed, of course, and then talk about just toxic creators on this platform that make things about them. And I'm going to address a little bit of that tonight. What up, Tanya? I see you watching. I see you. Let's see. Kayla's in the house. What up? Frazier's here. Massacre. Dude, if you haven't checked out Massacre, go check out Massacre on YouTube. Check out his music. Support him. And if you live in the local Massachusetts area, Massacre owns a retro gaming store. I think he just opened a new location in Plymouth, and he's got one in Taunton, and it's called Bowser's Basement. I actually bought most, if not all, my gray cart Nintendos, old school NES from Massacre, Bowser's Basement, excellent experience, great dude all the way, fucking one of the most hardest working persons. There I did. I just got probably nailed for swearing too early in the stream. One of the hardest working dudes that I know. Give him a follow. Bowser's Basement on Facebook. If you're looking for retro games, you can look him up in Taunton, location in Plymouth, and his music's dope as hell. He did a lot of stuff with Grind Mode Cypher, and I like a lot of their stuff and their collabs. And check out his music. Support him. And he's got a YouTube channel too. So I don't know. Maybe Carrie can find his link and drop it in the chat. Give him a subscribe. Check him out. Awesome Massachusetts-based rapper and lyricist, and he's been in the game for a long time. He's rapped with some really big artists, Chino XL. He's done stuff with him, and I really love his music. He's a very down to earth, cool guy. So check it out. Give him some likes over there. Let's get his channel. Get him out, man. I think he's got stuff on. Do you have stuff on Spotify and Apple? What the hell am I saying? iTunes. If you do, just check it out. Give him a like, subscribe, follow his music. It's great. He's great performer. Becky H says, I love the glare. I love the glare too. Straight up. Glare is awesome. Little Love is in the house. Good to see you over here. Let's see. Yes, Detective Day One in the house. What up? Masca says, great week. Yes, very good week, except for my power being out the last like 48 hours, which sucks. Crime Crochet in the house. Candlelight was nice. Atmosphere. I'll do another one soon, but I had to get back to full power here. We got a lot to go through. I have a lot of videos and presentations. Probably going to be a long banger tonight. I'm full out here. Kelly in the house. Nice to see you. Taco Tuesday. Yes. Masters Wow, what a plus, not necessary. No, man. Hey, man. Listen, we give love to everybody. When I like someone and I recognize their talent, they need to be called out, man. You know, absolutely. 100%. If you got that link, Carrie, drop. I think Rogue got it. I think that's Massacre's link right there. You're the illest. Oh yeah. You big time. Yeah. No, don't worry about it, bro. We're all good, man. Everything is good. You've done enough. I'm about to hit 1,000 subs. Let's get him to 1,000 subs, man. Come on, man. Let's get him to 1,000 subs. Only 75 away. I just need 75 people here tonight to go over, check out Massacre. Love his music, man. Let's see. The Galera rocks. Absolutely. What's up? What's up, Barry? What's up? Barry used to join us on the Danilo Cavalcante streams. Good stuff. Healing times in the house. All right. Chat will fill in as we go along. We're going to get a little bit into Idaho tonight. Well, a lot into Idaho tonight. Obviously, we got Turtle Boy. I just said tomorrow night. We have the Glare on Thursday. I'm back full power, ready to go. Be preparing for the show for Turtle Boy tomorrow and get that all lined up. Nice to see all the new subscribers over here, all the new members. And I have my link up there above. And I just want to talk a little bit about this. I am trying to become a full-time independent media channel in 2044. 2044. Fuck, man. I'll be dead by then, probably. Whoo! 2024. That's next year. Next year, 2024. I'm just going to talk a little bit about this. My one pitch per stream. All right. You go over here, link to the top. You can support me through this link. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. If you go down here and you just go right here, Buy LTL True Crime Podcast a coffee. You have all the denominations you can do. Make your donations through there. If you'd like to support on a monthly basis, just click this tab here. I have memberships here monthly. You can put that through. We got 4 active members on there right now. Thank you so much. 39 supporters. Only been using this platform for about 2 weeks. And it's done really well, so I appreciate that. Also, if you want to super chat, you can super chat during the show. You can also sign up for a monthly membership down there. Hit the join button, and that will give you... Uh-oh, what happened? My browser lost connection. What's going on, man? Am I still live? What's up? Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun. What happened? My camera went down. My back. Uh-oh, my camera's down. Hang on 1 second. That's not good. I'm on the backup. That's not good. Hold on. Let's go back to I get my camera back? Boom, there's the camera. Boom. All right, good stuff. Let me go back to, am I still live? Cool. All right. Yeah. So anyway, buy me a coffee. You can check me out, support the stream there. Links up above. My sound okay? Is my video okay? Yeah. I'm not even going to talk about that stream. That was nuts. Crazy stuff going on in the YouTube sphere today. Crazy stuff going on in the YouTube sphere today. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Idaho. The Idaho. All right, let me pull this up here. Let's see. We go back to Newsweek from Newsweek. Newsweek. Let's get caught up in the Idaho 4 case. Judge, I love his name, dude. Judge skews Brian Kohberger logic in Idaho murder trial. December 18th, this article was dropped on. So it goes on to say an Idaho judge denied a motion for Brian Kohberger's attorney to dismiss the grand jury indictment on Monday, revealing that the defense team's arguments miss aspects of the law. I'm going to tell you, Judge is fed up. Judge is done with the games. We are done with the games. Let's move on. Let's get to this trial. I feel in my bones that we may have some type of trial between March and maybe May. What are y'all feeling about that? Is this going to be a lengthy, drawn-out thing this year? I think Judge wants to get this on. I think the prosecution is ready. I think the judge is ready. We've had delay after delay after delay, and from the defense, and we need to move on. We need justice in this case. And a very, very important day coming up on December 28th. That is supposed to be the start of the demolition of the King Road house. I'm pissed. I've talked about this the last 2 streams. I am pissed. And I'm not the only one that's pissed. There's a lot of creators out there that are pissed. A lot of the families out there are pissed. What's going on? Hang on one second. Let me try to get this camera situation fixed. I don't know what's going on here. One of my wires are loose. Hang on one second. All right, bear with me one second. I'm going to try to work out this camera situation. That's not the camera I want. Let's see. That's the camera I want. All right, stay. I don't know why my camera's going around. Maybe I have a loose wire. Let me just connect these wires in a little bit better. Hang on one second. Times you get one of them loose wires. I think a lot of things went haywire after the power went crazy. Okay, let's get back to this article. The arguments from the defense for the beyond reasonable doubt standard for the grand jury was historically interesting and creative. And this is not the first time Judge has said this. Remember last time when they were quoting case law from like 100 years ago? Remember that when the defense is quoting case law from 100 years ago? And we did that stream. We talked about it, but not overturn the Idaho court's interpretation of the statute in the case law and criminal rules, specifically Rule 6-8 IRC, that is the standard for the grand jury to indict is probable cause. Therefore, the court denies Kohberger's motion to dismiss the indictment based on his claim of inaccurate instructions to the grand jury in order to warrant an indictment. Judge John Judge. Such the best name for a judge. It's such the best name for a judge. Remember when we were quoting that case law? Remember when we were quoting it? Do I still have the... Do I have it? Case law. Years ago. Go back to 1762. Remember when we were doing that? Every time we read the The response, when we heard the dates, we'd play the tone. 1895. All right. The ruling on Monday comes as Kohberger's defense team, led by Kootenai County Chief Public Defender Ann Taylor, has continued to argue that the grand jury indictment in the Idaho murders should be dismissed. She hasn't been arguing too good. We already know the background of the case. Kohberger has maintained his innocence in the case and previously stood silent during his arraignment, allowing the judge to not enter a plea of guilty for charges. Finally, listen. If I'm just going to say this. I mean, if I'm innocent in a case of a quadruple homicide that essentially is going to have the death penalty, if I am charged and convicted of this crime, if I am convicted, well, charged, but if I am convicted of this crime and I haven't done anything, you sure as hell know I'd be standing on the highest tower screaming at the top of my lungs, I did not do this. I didn't do it. I would be talking to every media entity in the world that I can get my hands on through bars and grab them and shake them and say, you need to get me on TV. I did not do this. I didn't do it. Why has Kohberger been so silent this whole time? Why did the judge have to put a plea in of not guilty for him? Why was his alibi so lame? I was just driving around. What did he do? He just drove around. That's all he was doing. Hey, he likes to go for long drives on the night. Long drives, just long drives. Lame alibi. No one's buying it. Gonzalez family's come out. Steve's come out with some new, I wouldn't say Easter eggs, but some little nuggets lately. He's talked about it. He's seen video. He knows the path of the white Hyundai Elantra. I don't think it's the Linda Lane video. I think there's some other things going on there. All right, let's go back to the article. So Kohberger claims that the standard of proof for the grand jury is to return an indictment is beyond reasonable doubt, and is because the grand jury in this case is instructed that the standard of proof was probable cause, and he found that there was probable cause to return an indictment. Kohberger argues that the indictment must be dismissed. The ruling said the state disputes Kohberger's argument and inserts the probable cause for the indictment is settled law in Idaho. You know what that means? You know what settled law is, right? You know what settled law? That's what it is. We got the drums going in the chat. I see you. Massacre was reaching out to me today. He goes, dude, what one of your videos should I watch? Well, I got like 250 of them. So I dropped him the Dateline videos. I say, here, watch this. This will get you caught up. This will get you caught up on everything. He's like, bro, I've already watched them. I'm like, just come hang out, man. You'll catch on quick. You'll see what's going on. But yeah, him and I were talking today. So we go on here to say the ruling goes on the state that Kohberger and the defense team missed certain language of the statute that the state by a trial jury. The additional language provides the broader context of warrant conviction by trial jury, not grand jury. One definition of probable cause is reasonable grounds for belief in the existence of facts warranting the proceeds complained of. This is precisely what grand juries are charged to determine. The ruling says the grand jury is not trial jury. Its function to its screen whether there is a significant evidence to provide to proceed to trial. The grand jury is baked into our United States Constitution amendment, and just for that, we're going to do it one more time. Yeah, baby. Going back to 1524. All right. All right. Let's get out of that. Uh what else do I got here? I got another article here. Oh, I want to let everybody know tonight, premiering tonight, we have week 2 of Brent Kopacka body cam footage. I'm going to show some of that in just a little while. I'm going to release it here during this stream, just one video, and then I will do some other compiling videos at the end of the week. I got four. I have 4 new body cam footage videos in that case, and we have a lot of documents that came through as well. So I will get all of that together this week. Obviously, I have no power for the last 48 hours, but I was able to get home today before the stream, get one of them loaded, and I will reveal that on tonight's stream. So give me a little bit here. We're going to get through a little bit more Idaho. And then I have some things that I'm going to prefix before going into that Kopacka video that I want all of you to know and to understand. I'm going to be addressing something that I am not happy with, and it needs to stop. Okay, let's go here. CBS News. Father of Idaho murder victim says he hopes police picked the... Oh, wait, hang on one second. That's not the right one. I wanted to go into this. Little tip off this afternoon. Moscow Police Department captain graduates from FBI National Academy. I'll give JLR the credit on this one. Saw that video pop up. Just wanted to bring it to your attention as well. But this is from Nonstop Local KHQ. Very interesting thing here. Moscow, Idaho. A Moscow Police Department captain has just graduated as a member of the 288th session of the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia. Anthony Dallinger was hired by Moscow police in 2011 as a patrol officer and has been promoted to corporal sergeant and is now a captain. He has also worked as a breath test specialist, emergency vehicle operations instructor, and detective. He is one of the detectives on the Koberger case. Fewer than 1% of the officers have the opportunity to attend the FBI National Academy. The National Academy offers 10 weeks of advanced communications, leadership and fitness training. Participants must have been proven records and professionals within their agencies to attend. Dallinger graduated with the 288th session, which had 198 graduating law officers. The class included law enforcement agencies from 24 countries, 4 military organizations, and 6 federal civil organizations. Let's pull up this membership. She's 7 months of pure vibes. Love you, dude. Well, no, I love you being here, Casey. Thank you for joining the show tonight. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Captain Anthony Dallinger attended session 288 of the Federal Bureau of Investigation National Academy. This 10-week leadership academy is coveted training opportunity amongst police command level officers. The FBI NNAAA helps prepare command officers to lead their department, their city, and community within professionalism and knowledge. You got to have that knowledge. During this time at the academy, Captain Dallinger earned 18 graduate level credits through the University of Virginia and was entrenched in an environment of leadership and education. I am proud of Captain Dallinger for seeking out this excellent learning opportunity, which I was fortunate to attend in 2019. This was Fry. I'm sorry, Chief Fry speaking about Dallinger. The Moscow Police Department has a rich history of sending command officers through this once in a lifetime training. We appreciate the city of Moscow continued support of the commanding officers. We allow them to attend the prestigious leadership opportunity provided by the FBI National Academy. For more information, obviously contact the FBI Academy. And I went back and saw this as well. Again, give the old cred to JLR for bringing this back up. And Dallinger was in an article back in CBS News January 2nd, 2023, and made this quote. And I actually remember this. I think we did this article on my stream. And he said, "We are trying to build this picture of now of him. He is who he is, his history, how he got to this event, Anthony Dallinger, a captain of Moscow Police Department, told CBS News. And it's just ironic. You look now, he's gone to the FBI Academy, has graduated. You have to look at his profiling skills. He was the one that says, we're trying to build this picture of him. All good stuff there. I feel really good about this. And, I think that the Moscow police has got a little bit of a raw deal in this, just because the way that things were handled. But I have confidence that this was fully investigated, obviously with the assistance of the FBI. And thank God Chief Fry went to that academy, because maybe that pulled a little strings to get them there to help, to assist. Such a small town, such a big investigation. And, Fry probably having that connection. And now we know Dallinger having that connection definitely helped, to make that phone call. Can you help? Let me get some Wawa. All right. So I just wanted to bring that up. And we'll talk a little bit about the demolition of the King Road house that is set to be taking place on December 28th. And I will tell you, I will be home that day, and I will be streaming in a protest of that. So we will have a conversation. I'm sure there is going to be people out there either protesting or filming, the potential demolition, the start of the demolition. I'm probably going to say JLR will probably be out there. So if he's got a live stream going, I will pop it up. I've had personal permission from JLR to run his content. So, we'll find someone out there. All right, let's play this from Banfield.
Now live by Steve Gonzalez. He is the father of one of the 4 students killed, Kaylee Gonzalez.
Oh,
Steve, thank you for being
this one. I want to save a little later because we saw this earlier. I want to go to this one. I want to talk a little bit about that after.
Senior national correspondent Brian Enton. He's been following the story
News Daddy,
obviously from the very beginning. He spent more time outside that house than I think anybody on this story. So this was a surprise. I mean, you just heard Caitlin and me talking about how surprised we both were. I'm sure you were as well. Any idea why now? Why so sudden? I mean, instantaneous. That the announcement to the families, the announcement to the press, the defense is in the same day for 2 days, and then within 2 weeks it's down.
Well, first of all, I think they got about a 2.5 hour heads up, the family. It was about 2.5 hours. They got the call, and then the press release went out where we all found out that there is an official date of December 28th. The timing is interesting. I mean, just a couple of days after Christmas sort of makes sense because students won't be there on campus. But I also wonder if they're thinking right between Christmas and New Year's, is that a time when, the media will stay away, when everybody's busy, when they can kind of try to do this under the radar? Perhaps that's the reason that they picked that time. But actually, I just want to remind you, the house is not in the middle of the campus. It's in a neighborhood right next to the campus. So I get that it's upsetting for the students and it's a distraction and it's hard to look at. But
Look at this. I want to pull this up. I'm 10 minutes out of Boston and I just got my power back. Good luck. Guess who's in the chat 10 minutes after they got their power back? Look at this. Sick.
It's not like they have to walk by it every day in the middle of the school. I still just don't understand why take the chance. Why not just leave the house up until the trial, like we've seen in other situations, like we saw in Parkland and all sorts of other cases we've covered. I don't understand. I just don't get the rush.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I mean, and I remember when you gave us the tour and you showed us when you stood in front of the house facing us and then walked, opposite to the camera down the hill, you literally within 50 steps were at the fraternity houses and Ethan's fraternity house specifically. So
listen, I wanted to address this really quick too. I see sometimes in the comments when people watch this back on replay, they say, you pause the videos too much and you talk. You have to understand a couple elements here. This is just not a video where I'm recording a video for 2 hours. This is actually a live show, and then it posts. So I'm interacting with the crowd in the chat. Also, I can't just play a video straight through. I have to commentate over it. I have to stop it for fair use. So I'm not going to blaze through the entire video, but I always quote the videos and where I'm getting them from. So this is News Nation, this is Banfield, and I always do that before I play them. So I just want to make that clear to everybody. If you're looking to seek that out, you can. I give the source. If you want to watch it straight through, you're welcome to do that. The reason we stop it is I might see something in the chat that someone says, I pull it up, we talk about it, or I might think of something as I'm watching the video and raise a question with the chat. So just want to make that clear. No harm, no foul on those people that have been commenting lately, like, just play the video straight through. I can't do it. That's why, and again, Paul is great. You just got to my point. That's why this channel is called Let's Talk Live, because we talk live and we discuss things live, and I do everything live. I don't make a lot of just videos. I'm a live streamer. All right, let's play on. Play on, fella.
Well, while they don't have to walk by, I suppose they could look up and see it there. But I'm with you. It's always been, I'm surprised it's such a battle. I don't think the university wants to make money off the property. I don't think that's what this is about. But it sure is sort of a sad battle that this family's had to go through. The families have had to go through, and not all of them agree. The Chapins, they haven't joined the fray in terms of families that want to keep that house standing. They've sort of not weighed in either way, publicly, that is. But certainly the Gonzalez family have led the way with other family members saying, just keep it there. What's the rush? What if there's a mistake in some, like, here we are. Brian, how many times have we seen FBI or police or members of the defense team coming back in the last couple of months to, I don't know, do some extra work they needed to do?
Yeah, and who knows, they might need to do something else
you.
that they haven't thought of yet, or maybe the jury will want to see the house. Steve Gonzalez, Kaylee's dad, made a good point to me last month when I spoke to him about this. He said, if this stays in the county and they don't move it, and they're trying to find a juror who is unbiased, it could very well be a farmer. And to him, a farmer isn't going to want to see a 3D image or a computer view. They're going to want to go out and see the house for themselves. And they're saying, well, the inside is different, and it's been, there's been chemicals and you can't walk around. But even the outside, actually, I mean, maybe they're going to want to stand on the street and say, what could you actually see from that?
These are all great points. These are all points that we've raised over the last 2 days, and I'm going to continue to raise these points until December 28th. I'm sad. Hopefully there can be a judge interact. What's the word I'm looking for? A judge to put a stop to this. Not interaction. What was it? What's the word I'm looking for? But just to stop this, we need to stop it. It's not good. I understand at some point this house needs to come down. I get it, but not now. We still got a lot to go in this case. And it's funny because I was talking to Tsunami the other day. He said to me, listen, your jurors here are probably going to be very rural farmers, people that just, all they're dedicated to is working, getting on their tractor, sun up, sundown, don't really spend a lot of time in the media. They may hear something very quick on the news, a quip, and then go back to work. That's probably who your jurors are going to be. And they're very intelligent in the sense of, if it is farmers, they're going to want to go and inspect. They're going to want to find things out and look at it for themselves. Usually people that run a lot of industrial equipment, they want to learn how something works. My dad was very mechanical. I got a lot of my mechanical abilities from my father as well, I'm pretty sure. He, from what I can remember in my childhood, was always building motorcycles, was always tinkering on a car, was always getting his hands in on something. And we talked about this. I think it would just be a great idea. What if the jury wants to go there? Jury wants to stand in there. I'm kind of going back to stuff I talked about last night, the reverberation inside the house. Now I get it. The furniture is out of there. The acoustics are going to be different, but at least you can get a feeling for that space. We talked about this last night, getting a feeling for your space. I'm in my bedroom right now, a corner of my bedroom. I know what this corner feels like. I know what this space feels like. And I think those jurors are going to want to see that. And that can't be replicated through photos or a model or a video. They got to go there. So hopefully there will be a stoppage in this. I think it needs to be delayed. I think we need to get to that trial. I understand there's a lot of upkeep. There's a lot of potential biohazard. There's chemicals in that house. There's been some debate. It wouldn't be good for jurors to walk through there. I don't know. I just think that it needs to be there. It still needs to be there until this trial is concluded.
Window, or what could you see from the front to the back of the house? Or what exactly does the road look like in that area compared to the house?
You're just getting in the chat here. We've got about 97 peeps watching. Please smash that old like button. I think I only see 6 upvotes. Come on, 52 upvotes. Let's get to a hundo. We get to a hundo tonight. I'm going to drop some free memberships. I promise you that. Let's get to 100 likes. I'm going to drop some free memberships.
May not even have Brian, to go inside.
Let me ask you that, because you have a very unique ability to say, I saw the digital replications of the house before I got there, before you landed for the first time in Idaho and went to that property. How different was it when you got there? What surprised you in person? Because you walked around the back, like you were taken all around the house, which other reporters haven't done. So you tell me how different it would be looking at a digital model compared to showing up there for the first time and getting the real feel.
It's a very unique house. It's the 3 stories. Part of it is into the ground. It's a very unique driveway. I mean, you see in the video here, it's this steep driveway that goes up around the house. There's an apartment complex on one side. I mean, when I went, my first thought was like, it's just an interesting sort of little corner of this street that you can't really visualize unless you're there. And again, they may have questions. The jury may have questions about the outside. What could you hear if you were on one side of the house? Could you hear things? I mean, who knows what they might want to feel out there.
So Casey says, the only thing I'm glad of, hate that it's happening so quickly, is that it can't be purchased by some ghoulish YouTuber or something, because I just know that that would happen if it went on the market. Maybe I could see some sicko turning it into like a bed and breakfast. But I think that what the university is doing is that, and I've talked about this the last couple of streams, I just feel like they're looking at this as a cash grab. I have to be honest. And I understand there needs to be a memorial there. There has to be, to remember these 4 victims. Absolutely. But I just feel like we got to get it quick. We got to get it in for the spring semester. We, probably their tuitions are down. We want to get people to come out and look at the university. What do people need to do when they come to town? They got to eat. They got to stay in hotels. That hundreds of thousands of people are going to flock there to see this memorial. As many people that know about this case, I will go out and visit it at some point. But I don't know. It just feels like a big cash grab to me right now, and it's sad. And I ultimately said this last night as well too. The families need to sign off 1,000% on the approved memorial. They have to have the involvement in this. They have to have the say. 100%.
That's why I don't understand it. I don't understand the rush.
Thank you for watching.
No, thank you for watching. All right, let's pull up another video here. Another video. I want to play this. Banfield again. News Nation. News Nation. We got News Nation. When was this on? This was 20 hours ago, December 18th. Mark Gagarios. Bada bing, bada boom.
Your reaction to this concept, like hearing Cheney Mason saying, "Don't do it. Just don't tear the house down," was pretty big for me. To hear a criminal defense attorney of that ilk who has defended something that high profile saying, "Don't tear this house down."
S.J. Howard seems to say they will have it down before January. They need it for a tax write-off. Quite possibly.
Seemed like a big deal. I want to get your take.
He's, I think Cheney also, who I have a great deal of respect for, is retired, is he not, Ashley? Because I will tell you that most defense lawyers would probably not view or voice their opinion on this, because I will tell you a secret. The last thing that the defense wants is this house to be standing, because once that house is torn down, all bets are off in terms of the prosecution.
Getting
You
old.
never know, having tried scores of murder cases myself, you never know what's going to happen with a murder case. You just never, you watched them, Ashley. Inevitably, something happens in the trial that nobody was expecting, either the prosecution or the defense. One of the things that you usually have is the ability to test that against a crime scene. You're able to go out, you're able to do some further investigation. How many times I've made the argument to somebody that you can't now bring in this new piece of evidence in the middle of the trial. And I've heard the judge say, Mr. Garrigus, it's an ongoing investigation. Nothing stops that. Well, this stops that. You are not going to be able, the prosecution is going to hamstring themselves to exactly what their theory is. And I think, frankly, that could be a very, very significant mistake. I don't understand why the prosecution wants to do it. Mind you, I completely understand if I'm sitting. Yeah, I understand why the university wants to. I get that. I understand why the parents are divided over it. I get that also. I don't understand why the prosecution would allow this. To me, it makes.
It's funny. A lot of people are pissed about this. A lot of people are pissed about this. I mean, Enton, of course. I mean, look at all the reporting that he's done in and around that property. Banfield, of course. As much as you love Hader, she's done a lot of reporting on this. Brian Enton, been out there, love him to death. Someone that I admire in the journalistic space. I try to take some cues and notes from Brian. I'm still learning this biz. I've only really been in this YouTube game and journalism game for about 9 months. Gregario's pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
Absolutely no sense. And I think that they are going to, I'll make a bold prediction that they are going to have grave regrets about that, because I think, like I said, something will transpire during the course of this trial where they wish they had that crime scene intact.
Do you see it? Because the one thing that Cheney Mason mentioned that sort of caught me off guard, because I guess I hadn't thought about it, was the appellate issues that could be raised by the defense.
Was that El Detective de Juan right there? I think I saw him. Look at that stash.
That sort of caught me off.
That's El Detective de Juan right there. Is he in the chat still? I knew you were on this case. Let's see if he's in the chat still. That is El Detective de Juan right there. Look at that. If I have his profile picture in here, I'm going to pull it up. I don't know if he's still here, but that is El Detective de Juan. Right? Everybody, look at, everybody knows. That is him. I don't think he's in the chat anymore. Did he leave? Let's see if he chatted. I'll pull up his avatar. That is flat out him. Where is he? I know he was in the chat earlier. Where he was at the beginning of the stream. Let's go up. I think I found him. Hang on. That was Kimberly blah blah blah. Where is he? Go back. Oh, he's right there. Look at that. That is him. I knew he was on this case. Look. That is him.
Off guard.
Look at that is him. That is him. That is flat out El Detective de Juan right there. Flat out. I knew I saw that stash before.
I guess I hadn't thought about it, was the appellate issues that could be raised by the defense if there's a conviction and a big piece of evidence is now, missing. Do you see these appellate issues? Can you sort of prognosticate what they might be able to think through?
I can absolutely. That's why I said Cheney's retired.
Pat, thank you for the 5 on Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate the support. If anybody would like to support LTL True Crime Podcast and my mission to become a full-time YouTuber in 2024, you can just click that link above and buy me a coffee. He doesn't even drink coffee.
Because I hate to kind of prognosticate, but I can think of 3 or 4 different examples of something that, without engaging in rank speculation, just something that could occur that the defense brings up in the middle of trial, that there could be an alternate suspect, there could be somebody else who was potentially a witness, there could be somebody who testifies differently at the trial than what their statement is to the police. You've got memorialized police statements, but inevitably at trial, they don't track. And if you want to test that, or you
remember
want to
this
say,
when they were moving
no,
all
this couldn't be.
Look at this footage. This is old. Remember this footage? Look at December 7th. When we're moving all stuff out, evidence out of the house.
For instance, they couldn't see from this particular angle because of this, and all you're left with are various camera angles or photos or videos that don't exactly capture that. That's a tremendous problem also for the defense, and the defense will raise that. The defense will say, we were foreclosed. We were not able to then go out and test this new theory. By the way, the prosecution never gave us this heads up. They've now introduced this piece of evidence.
So I'm just going to pop this real quick. Cynthia says, if that house goes down, BK will walk. Jurors can't possibly relate to the defendant, him maneuvering around that house. Of course, defendant wants it down. It's a slam dunk for them then. I don't think it's a slam dunk, but it definitely, I think the jury is going to want to see, where was that latent footprint? Maybe go out at some specific times, like in the dark, stand there. Can I see someone from Dylan Mortenson's doorway, standing in that hallway, in that kitchen? Maybe they want to see that path going up, like we've seen before on those previous body cams in August, when they travel up that dirt path up beside the house, going to the slider, going through the slider, going up to that 3rd floor. How shallow is that staircase? How long does it take to navigate that house? Jurors are going to want to see that.
During the trial, how are we supposed to
can't replicate
test it?
that.
That could be.
You can't replicate it in a photo, in a video, or in a model. It's got to be the actual physical house.
An appellate issue. The prosecution at the same time is going to say something along the lines of, Judge, it's an ongoing investigation. Of course we can bring this piece of evidence in. And the defense will object and say, no, you can't, because we can't test it.
Because we can't test it. When Cheney Mason said that the house should stay standing not just through the end of the trial, but through the end of all appeals on a death penalty case.
Yeah,
I mean,
great point.
When I moved to the United States and became, a landed immigrant here, it was 28 years ago, and I covered a case in Texas of Darlie Routier. It was a death penalty case. She's still sitting on death row almost 3 decades later. So it gave me a bit of a shudder to think that the poor university and the students would have to look at this horrible eyesore for decades upon decades in a death penalty case that could have that many appeals.
Well, the problem with that argument is, and the reason I don't think that would ever stand up, is that you've then got a trial presumes either an acquittal and a conviction. An appeal presumes a conviction. If you've been convicted and if you're up on appeal, and if you have not raised the particular issue with the House standing at that point, you're going to be hard pressed to get anybody to say you got to keep that House intact during all of the appeals. So I'm not so sure I would go as far as Cheney. I will tell you that until the trial is concluded and there is a sentencing and a notice of appeal, and the trial court, once it gets to the Court of Appeal, is divested of jurisdiction, I don't think the House should be destroyed until that point in time.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. All right, let's go on to a little bit of a lengthier video here, and then we're going to play one more after that, and then we'll play one of the new Brent Kopacka body cam videos that I have. And then I'm going to be addressing something really quick just before that. All right, let's play this. This is from Law and Crime Network. This just came out yesterday. 2 Idaho murder victims' families hope to stop the demolition of the house. Let's hear it.
Is this good for the prosecution? Is this good for the case?
The family of Kaylee Gonsalves, one of the 4 University of Idaho students murdered in a house near campus more than a year ago, hoping beyond hope that the demolition of the house where Kaylee and her friends were murdered will be stopped. The University of Idaho says the house is coming down next week. I'm Anjanette Levy. It's Monday, and this is Crime Fix, Law and Crime.
Real quick, now that we're kind of transitioning into the segment, this afternoon I was over at my man's house and had no power here, obviously, but she had court TV on. It's funny. She lives 1 street over, full power the whole time. Sucks. I was like, I'm jealous, Mom. But I'm over there watching court TV, and they're talking about the demolition of King Road House. So I was trying to find the segment so I could bring it up here. But as they're going through it, and I forget who was on panel, it wasn't any of the normal people that are up there. It's a young lady. I can't think of the name, her name off the top of my head. But Steve Gonsalves texted as they were live talking about it and made a comment. And I wrote a note here. I have my notes that I was taking. If I was going to be in the dark tonight, these were all my notes that I was going to present. But I look at this note and it says, Steve G texted court TV reporter on air and made a quote that on tearing down King Road House, it's complete BS. It's complete BS.
Times look at the top stories in the world of crime. The demolition of the house on King Road will begin on December 28th.
Oh, thank you, Kate.
3 days after Christmas.
Appreciate you.
The University of Idaho now owns that house where Maddie Mogan, Kelly Gonsalves, Xana Carnodal, and Ethan Chapin were murdered on November 13th, 2022. The school has been clear.
Papa Raja checking in, saying everything has a hidden hand orchestrated outcomes. Removing the house is a win for the defense to argue the state's evidence. Well said.
Since the beginning that it planned to demolish the house, but that hasn't been sitting well with at least 2 of the victims' families.
When they're like, that house is gone.
So Danielle's asking, Brian, does your mom think, does my mom think about the house coming down? She wants it to stand. She feels that it needs to stand and get through this trial. Absolutely.
It is going to be very emotional for me. But that wasn't why the emotional side of things. It was strictly like, is this good for the...
They met in just out of high school. They skipped off and got married, didn't tell anybody. And the rest is said.
Prosecution, is this good for the case?
Neither the prosecution nor Brent Kopacka's defense team have objected to the house being demolished. In fact, both sides signed off on the house being turned over to the school earlier this year. Kopacka is being held in the late...
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily say that they both agreed to have it demolished. She said it was just agreed to be turned over to the university. They didn't say that they agreed with it.
Utah County Jail, accused of the murders of those 4 students. He has...
Did I hear that correctly? Let's go back.
Objected to the house.
Prosecution, is this good for the case?
Neither the prosecution nor Brent Kopacka's defense team have objected to the house being demolished. In fact, both sides signed off.
They have objected. That's not true.
On the house being turned over to the school earlier this year. Kopacka is being held in the Utah County Jail, accused of the murders of those 4 students. He has maintained his innocence up until this point. The defense and the prosecution have been back to the house recently to take measurements for exhibits to be used at trial. So the jury will not be taken to the house because obviously the plan is to take it down. In a statement last week, the school's president said, "It is the grim reminder of the heinous act that took place there. While we appreciate the emotional connection some family members of the victims may have to this house, it is time for its removal and to allow the collective healing of our community to continue." Give the gift of whiskey this holiday season with the whiskey.
Sure, but I'm not sponsored by them, so we're going to push forward here. Shannon Gray
on your purchase. Joining me to discuss the demolition of the King Road house is the attorney for Kaylee Gonsalves's parents, Shannon Gray. Shannon, thanks for coming on. I know that we had spoken before in the summer about how the family objected to the house being demolished before trial. That is now happening, despite the prosecution and the defense saying, "Yeah, we don't want the house anymore. We don't need it," but you guys still object to the house being knocked down before trial.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were under the understanding initially that they would just keep it. You know, they stopped the demolition for some reason in the spring, or I guess it was in July. And we thought, well, if they found a good enough reason to stop it then why wouldn't they keep that reason and go all the way to trial? But, you know, we got an email the other day from the University of Idaho, really kind of just took us back how quickly, you know, we got an email on the 14th and the demo scheduled for the 28th. So it's pretty shocking that they would send us such short notice, probably because they know that we're going to try to fight them on it. So
you said you're going to try to fight them on it. How are you going to try to do that?
Well, you know, part of the issue with this is that, you know, last time we just kind of voiced our opinion. You know, sometimes the public can help out. And when we put out a statement where we're saying, you know, why not just leave it? What's wrong with just leaving it? And I think everyone in America understands that. Like, why not just leave the house where it is? If you don't need it, great, right? Then, you know, the trial goes and you demo it after the trial. But what if, which has been the case in the last couple of months, people have needed to get back in there, right? And it would have been demolished. So these two opportunities that the defense and the prosecution have had the opportunity to do, if they had followed through with their plan, the University of Idaho, the house would already been demoed by then. So what would they have done then, right?
Did you all ask yet again? Did you ask the university yet again to halt their plan? I mean, obviously they've got a company hired to do this. They've sent out a map with where the media should be parking if they want to observe this. They want to get it done before the kids come back from winter break. They say because, you know, it'll be less disruptive that way. So have you said to them, hey, you know, we're opposed to this? Oh,
yeah. I mean, they've known we're opposed to it. And I sent them another email. You know, they sent the email to us telling us about it. And I sent them a response email, a pretty harsh one. You know, I thought it was a little premeditated. And I thought that, you know, the short notice was premeditated. And, you know, why would you do it around Christmas, right? The 28th. I mean, especially for the families. And I think the statement kind of says itself, the Gonsalves's family statement, where it talks about it's, you know, the house has evidentiary value, at least we believe it does. And then, you know, there's an emotional attachment to the house. And so
I used to have hair like that. I don't have hair like that anymore. And I went, wah, 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 but I don't care. It's so much easier now. It was so much maintenance back then.
Oh, you know, a lot of those things should be taken into consideration, and the family feels like it's not. So the Coronado family, I've spoken with Jeff, and he feels the same way as the Gonsalves family. The Chapin family, obviously, I don't have any contact with them. So
Jeff Coronado, Xana's father, thinks it should stay until after the trial.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
So you don't really, the last time we spoke about this too, you said there really aren't any legal avenues that you can explore to halt this. It would be more of a public outcry type thing.
Well, I mean, ultimately, you know, I think there could be some civil remedies that could be pursued, but what you'd be doing is fighting the University of Idaho. You know, yeah, people don't understand that these families are families, and they don't have unlimited resources to pursue a legal battle against a giant like the University of Idaho that has legal counsel on staff all the time, right? So, you know, a lot of people are limited by resources and what they're able to afford and what they're able to do. I mean, that's in the world in itself. People are limited by resources, you know? So I think that, you know, there could be some civil remedies out there, but I don't think the families have the resources to pursue those at this time.
Tea bags?
You know,
tea bags on the eyes work? You see everybody's those tea bags. Not that kind of tea bag. I don't want that tea bag on my eyebrows. But the real, like, actual tea bags work.
So
Don't tea
this
bag
thing
my
has
eyebrows.
slowed down. Things
It
seem
doesn't
to have
work.
come to a halt a bit since Brian Koberger waived his right to a speedy trial. I mean, I think a speedy trial
Well, I
would.
just want to address this really quick. Janet says Bill Thompson said in the email that the house has been substantially altered and many chemicals were used to making a juror visit not appropriate. But that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm going to tell you why, Janet. Who do we just have in there? Who did we just have in there on the 31st that walked in maskless, no gloves, no protective gear on? The FBI went back in. Who do we just have recently after that? The defense team and Taylor was seen going in the house without any mask, without any protective gear on. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't think it's that bad of a horrible disaster to walk through if they're letting people go in there from both sides of the teams without any protective gear on. This is a bullshit thing. This is to work with the university to knock this house down as quick as possible to get that memorial up, because, like I said, you know what I'm doing here. Got to get this in there. Got to do this.
Straight cash, homie.
Got to get that going. We got to get it going. It's not working. Damn it. What happened?
Straight cash, homie.
Dinero. It's about the dinero and not that dinero. But you know what I'm saying. Let's play.
It's very unrealistic given the magnitude of this case, the amount of evidence to go through, the fact that it's a death penalty case. Do you have a feeling for when it may actually go to trial? Do you think it will be later in 2024, or could we be looking beyond that?
Well, the families we've been in contact with, Latah County Prosecutor's Office, trying to figure out what the opinion is on a time frame on getting a trial date. And, the judge, they're understanding the judge has to make some decisions on some evidence and things like that before a trial date is scheduled. I don't think anybody knows when the judge is going to make those decisions. So I think it's frustrating for the family. It's absolutely frustrating for the family to not have a trial date. And then the University of Idaho go ahead and moving forward on this and giving us 2 weeks notice that they're going to demo a home that they've known we've fought them on for the last year. And so, it's frustrating. And, if you have any say, and you want to let the University of Idaho know how you feel, I would contact them and let them know. It's people's voices matter and people's voices should matter, right? The victims.
Hey, and shout out to T-Rev for getting that change.org petition signed. I think he met the goal of 1,500 people. I signed it the other day. I shared it on my Twitter. If you want to go over and sign that petition, you can just look at me at Let's Talk Live YTC on Twitter. Share it, sign it. Let's get that signed. Good stuff.
Families' voices should matter. And it doesn't seem like they're heard at all, so.
You're a defense attorney. And so you understand, a defendant's right to a fair trial, of course. This case is unique.
Twitter.
The X. For some reason, it's resonated so much with people on social media, and there's been so much crazy stuff that has taken place with this case, with speculation and things like that. It just seems like everything in this case is filed under seal. Nearly everything.
But ironically, we did have the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party the other day. 250 years. 250 years. I was making a joke the other day on Sunday. I had to work. I looked at my employees. It was the anniversary. I said, if the Boston Tea Party didn't happen, we'd probably still be under British rule and we wouldn't be here working right now. They all started laughing. We'd still be under British rule.
How do you feel about that, given the fact that
teabagging foam
practices, you're a lawyer.
Love it.
How do you feel about
smash that like button? Let's get to 100 likes.
Everything's filed under seal. Filed under seal. An order. Oh, we're going to seal that order.
We're do it for the tea bags. Smash that like button.
We're going to seal this hearing.
Well, remember, I have a non-dissemination order, so I can't really even tell you how I feel. I mean,
you know what? I want to put something to rest. Maybe Massacre can understand this here. All right, Massacre. Boston accents, okay? Please confirm this in the chat. The closer you are born to Boston, the thicker your accent is, okay? And let everybody know in the chat, yes, our accents kind of tone down and they ramp, okay? And you probably know this too. When you're in a group of Bostonians, your accent picks up, and we swear a lot too. So it's a lot of fucking, fucking stupid, right? And he will confirm this. And sometimes our accents ramp down. I think he knows what I mean. Same with New York, right? So I'm debunking something because they were calling me out about my Boston accent, that it was fake. It's not fake. I've even heard it in New York. See? Massacre. Look at. Yes, 100%. When we get around Bostonians, and the closer you are born to Boston, and specifically Southie, because Southie and Chelsea, those get the really deep Boston accent. So the closer you get to Boston, your accent gets thicker. When someone was trying to call me out and say, oh, my accent's fake and I ramp it up on purpose, fuck you, all right? Fuck you. And I'm going to be addressing that person in a couple minutes here, because I got some goods on that person, and hopefully put all this shit to rest, because I'm getting tired of my name getting brought up everywhere. We'll save it. Give me about another 7 minutes, and we're going to get into that. And then I'm going to show the Kopacka video, I promised.
It's I can't. And, I, as a former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney.
I grew up in Hyde Park. I lived on Reedville Street. Right down over near the train tracks. And Beacon used to be over there. Walcott Square.
I've been in the criminal world for 20 some years.
Massacre says, and I'm also 45 minutes from South Boston. And when I play online video games, someone says I sound like Mark Wahlberg. That's my voice, and I don't even live in Boston. See? Look at this. Amy said I did too, over by the high school. Love it. And then was it Dean Street Car Wash is right there? Dean Street Car Wash. Yeah, I lived on Reedville Street. 105 specifically.
And it's frustrating for the families, because I explained to them how I think the process should run, and how things should be done in my 20 years of practicing. And so they have those expectations. And so, it's up to the court to decide and make those things. It's up to the prosecution and the defense to make the decisions as far as, presenting the case and defending the case. And one day, maybe I'll be able to really tell everybody how I feel and what this process has been like.
Stressful,
aggravating, going through it with the families and the struggles that have gone on throughout. But it's not today. And I just have to, have to bite my tongue. So
it sounds like the family, the Gonsalveses, at least, you speak for them, there's still a level of frustration there.
I think there's a high level of frustration. Yeah. I mean, we don't know what's going on, right? There's motions that are filed. There are, hearings that are set. I go through all the hearings. I go through all the motions with the family, talk about those things, talk about the normal process of how things might work or should work. Trial dates, scheduling orders, what evidence, alibi information, all of those things that have been an issue and topics in the past over the last 6 months. Speedy trial issues, all of those things, and how I think and how, in my experience, the criminal justice system has worked. And so, since everything's under seal, we don't get any information. We don't have any information on the case. We don't get any additional facts. We don't get anything at all. And 99% of the time, if I want something or the family wants something, I have to reach out to the district attorney's office or the prosecutor's office. It's not them contacting us. Every once in a while they do, to give us a heads up on something that might be coming out in the media and give. But other than that, if I need anything at all, it's me being proactive and the family being proactive to contact them to get information. And I think that's frustrating for them. I think they felt like there would be a much more open line of communication with the Latah County Prosecutor's Office than there really is. So
they don't have a.
Hey, let's do this. That's Massacre's YouTube channel. Go over and subscribe. Let's get him to 1,000 subs so we can get monetized over there. Let's get him to 1,000 subs. If you like hip hop, rap music, check it out. His shit's good. I really like. I tell him all the time. I'm like, your shit's good, man.
With a victim witness coordinator who reaches out on behalf of the.
We do. What's there to tell us? There's not. I mean, every once in a while, we'll get contact about a hearing, or things like that. But I can read the hearing. It's filed underneath the public notices.
Awesome. Thank you.
There's no additional information that we're getting in any way, in any sense, other than maybe, like this. We'll get an email maybe the morning of. Maybe a day before that they're going to go back into the house, and don't freak out. So, that's the kind of information we get, and, there was a hearing, if there were hearings, this is when the hearings are. Well, I know, because they're filed under the public notices and they're filed in the court case, and we can look those up. We don't get anything additional. So
interesting. Well, Shannon, is there anything else you'd like to
add?
Thank
you, Gary.
I think it's just important for everyone to understand that the family feels it's very important for the demolition of that house to stop. And if you have any power, you can reach out and let the University of Idaho know what you think about it.
No problem.
I think that could be beneficial for the family, and it's just. It's commonsensical, I think, to most of us. If you were to take a poll, that house should stay there. I think it's one of those things where it's a crime scene. It's a very large piece of evidence. Just the mere fact that it's there and the location of the rooms, entry points, exit points.
Talked about that.
Vantage points of witnesses. That are in the case, and it's hard to recreate those things. It's hard to after the fact, when it's gone, here's a copy of the house. I don't know how that makes much sense, right? And it's really the victims' families that are most important here.
Right now, there are no indications the university plans to stop the demolition of the house on King Road. A company has been hired to take the house down, and we'll have that covered for you when it happens next week.
All right, Anjanette Levy, thank you so much. Okay, my friends, let's get into Brent Kopacka. I'm going to release a new body cam video here tonight. But before I get into that, I want to make something clear and out the open. I have been frustrated with a certain creator lately. They are now currently tonight streaming about Chelsea Grim. And I just feel like they're about a month behind in that case. This is someone that has about 9 or 10 videos about Chelsea, and I have over 50. I have put a significant amount of work into that case to lead people in the right direction in Chelsea's case. This creator, Titanium Built, tonight is now streaming, showing the case file and telling people like, well, I don't think the friends are that much involved. I don't think they're talking. That's false. So she's leading people down a very false narrative because She doesn't have any information on this case. She doesn't know anything. I have taken people up to the most current state of that case, and everything right now is completely silent. Okay. I've been very open about this, and I take this case very personal. And I think the reason I have a riff with this is I've investigated the one of the lead PIs on the case. I've talked with her ex-boyfriend multiple times. We've had Elias on the show. I was the first to publicly put her case file out there, all of the body cam footage. I've talked exclusively with her friends. I have about two of her friends' contacts in my phone that I literally could pull up and call right now to get information if I needed to. I've passed conversations through one of their friends to Sarah Grimm, Chelsea's sister. So what she's doing is she's misleading, and she's putting people way off in a different narrative in this case. And I'm kind of offended by it, because she really didn't have any, I don't want to say dog in the fight, but she's just hasn't done the correct research on it. And it's really a case that I feel that she shouldn't have touched. But of course, we know Tanya likes to copy me, and she does a lot of copying of me. And I'm perfectly fine with saying this public, because what you're going to see today, I think, is going to offend. It's got about 96 people in here. We'll probably get, a couple thousand views on this video after it posts. But I think what you're going to see here today, what I have tracked down and what I've researched and brought a lot of evidence forward in why I think that Tanya copies me a lot, is going to be really proof in the pudding. And it's a shame how this is all ending right now, because she's very upset at me for some reason. Now, all I ever said about her was her and I did some panels together. She came over here. After she got her 10,000 subscribers, she took off. Perfectly fine. I have no qualms about that. If you want to be your own sole creator, do your own panels, your own channel, perfectly fine with that. I have no problem with that. The problem I have was when you left, you started copying my content. And this has been for months. This is not like yesterday. And I've kind of held off on this publicly for a long time. And I'm going to show you tonight. So there's no unequivocally that she can deny this, because the proof is going to be in the pudding tonight. And unfortunately, this is going to end in a rather sad way, because through her lying, and I've caught her in several lies here, through her lying, it's caused someone a big amount of stress. And I want to make sure that I publicly apologize to this person tonight, because their name really should have never been dragged into this. But I had to do my own research to clear my name, to see if the lies were still building. And they were. The lies were still building. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up a quick presentation, because I like to present and show things so you all get a good idea of what's going on. But let's do this. Let's just look at how this started. So, and I think the reason that I'm very upset about this was I was live the other night, and Tanya proceeded to call me about 9 times and left 2 really nasty messages on my voicemail, and it made me upset. And I think publicly everybody needs to know what's going on to settle this riff. And after I do this tonight, I'm done talking about it. If she wants to respond to me and talk with me, I can drop the link for her. She can come up. I'll just bring up the presentation and I'll have her explain it. I'll have her explain what I see. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go back to Chelsea Grimm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll start here. It's a great slide. So I want to talk about the case file. So there was a stream that Tanya did on December 7, 2023, and she went in to proceed to talk about the case file. She had notes written in her own language, and I just want to make sure that people are very clear about this. Now, the first time that I actually had the case file in my hand was around November 15th. I did a live previous to that, but I did a full scrolling files so people could go in, reference it, look through it, and check it out. And that was on November 15th. I came back and talked about it again as I unredacted more information on the 29th. You can see that here. Okay. So she does a stream on December 7th. And in her stream, she says, I don't even have the case file. And someone alerted to me, emailed me and said, yo, you need to check this out. And I looked over and I went, she doesn't have the case file. Then how would she know the exact case language? Funny. Typed in her own handwriting, puts her watermark on it. I said, that's impossible. This is not publicly out in any newsprint. It's not on any news show. How would you know word for word this language? So I kept looking. Again, it was all copied. I kept looking again. It's the case file. I mean, flat up the case file. So it was disturbing to me. And I wrote her an email. And she ultimately admitted and said, yeah, I looked at your stuff and I took notes on it. And I found that kind of offensive because one, that's telling me that you're not really doing any real research. And you're claiming that you have notes from a case file that you don't even have. So you essentially came to my stream, watched my material. Why I don't know why you watch my channel all the time, but you do for some reason. And you essentially copied off me. You copied off my case file, where I would have been cool if you just would have reached out and said, hey, do you mind? I'm a very fair creator. And I would have said, sure, absolutely. Let's just make a deal, drop my link, let people know. But she's very nervous about the subscriber thing. And every time that she contacts me, she always says that I am, it's always about clicks and views and subscribers to her. Now, if you notice here, if we want to talk subscribers, she's been stuck pretty much at 13.2 for quite a while. Now, I was back on November 29th, and I'm just looking at my subscriber count today. It's 12. I actually just gained 2 tonight. So it's 12,549. So what, in the matter of 2 weeks, I've picked up a few hundred subscribers. Seems like my channel's moving where yours has been very stagnant. So if you want to talk about clicks and views, which I don't really care about, I just care about presenting cases, being honest with people, and putting honest information forward. I've talked about this before, that this is not a hobby for me. I don't sit down and go, oh, tonight maybe we'll talk about this. I put my heart and soul in this channel. I work full-time, 40 plus hours a week. And then every dying moment that I have goes into this channel, because in 2024, we're going to reach my goal of being a full-time creator and not having to go back to a corporate job. So I want to go on here a little bit, and I just want to make sure. So just more here, case file, straight up case file. Okay, and now we're going to get to this. Give me 2 seconds. Hang on 1 second. So we talked about Chelsea Grimm, and now we're going to talk a little bit about Brent Kopacka. And you said, well, why do we have to talk about that? Well, as you know, Carrie and I have done the Freedom of Information Act to obtain the Brent Kopacka file, and we have been the first privileged to get that file. We have worked with a clerk in the office, and we have built that relationship with the clerk in Pullman, and they said, you will be the first ones to get the file. Thank you. We appreciate that. The reason I wanted to get this file and make sure that we made this very clear is Brent Kopacka's name, a Purple Heart recipient, someone that served our country, has had his name dragged through the mud in the Idaho 4 case. And I wanted to get into that file and make sure that people understand for the last year, all of the videos that you have made about conspiracy. I'm not saying Tanya. I'm just saying that there are other creators out there, a lot of them, that have dragged Brent Kopacka's name through the mud. Now, as what I am seeing so far, what happened to Brent was tragic. I haven't made my total decision on it. I haven't made my total decision on how Pullman has acted in his case, but we're going to get there. And then I'm going to make my determination at the end of the whole case file when we release it. So the matter of Brent Kopacka came up. And when I was live the other night, Tanya rudely wanted to interrupt my stream. And she called me. And I'm going to read you a transcript of that call. And I'm fine. I'm going to tell you right now, I am publicly fine with putting this out there because you all need to know. You all need to know. So she left me a message and said, "This is Tanya. I'm sure that you're aware. I've been getting emails after emails after emails for months about you talking about me on your channel, which is false. Hasn't happened. I've talked about you a few times, but I've talked about you in the sense of when you have copied me and I've called you out. And tonight, I'm going to put that to rest. And then I'm done talking about it. Please," she says, "please keep my name out of your mouth. I didn't want to come to your panels anymore, point blank, period. That's it. I have all the stuff. If you want to start this, if you want to be like the Glairer," so she's talking about him, and I'll have him on Thursday night and he can retort to that if he'd like. Or start a drama channel because you're not getting any views on your channel. It's always about clicks and views with Tanya for some reason. And I'm not the person. I'm not that person, okay? I've literally kept my mouth shut for a long time. I've only talked about you twice, about the situation. I've never said anything bad about you. I've always said I like to work alone. There's nothing wrong with that. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have any problem with that. Stop talking about me. I never stole your content. I have looked over some notes, making sure I was getting them correctly because Chelsea Grimm is missing. Don't chastise me, Tanya. I've been deep into this case way before you even sniffed it. So you know nothing about the Chelsea Grimm case. And what you're doing right now, pulling that case file up, misleading people, is tragic because you don't even know. You're not even close to anybody that has been close to Chelsea. And I know about the begging emails and messages that you send people to give you information. Please, anything you have, please. I know about them. Then she goes on to say, no one wants you to work on her case. I've never heard that. All I've ever heard on this channel is praise in the way that I've handled her case. And I will continue to handle it with integrity and respect and love. She goes on to now pull Brent Kopacka into this. Brent Kopacka's best friend has sent me messages and a voice message, and I will put it out public. He doesn't want you touching this case. So if you want to mess with me, Brian, mess with me. I don't care. But let's get the facts straight. And you're right. Carrie does do a good job on records request. I've done FOIAs before, try looking at my channel. Nobody copies you. I've never seen her do FOIAs on her channel, ever. Nobody copies you. Nobody. Brian, believe me. And yes, I'm expecting a phone call back because we need to talk about it like adults. On the phone, not on YouTube, you keyboard warrior. So that was my nice message from Tanya. That's the transcript from it. So I got to thinking. I said, Darren's upset that I'm handling the Brent Kopacka case. I wonder if Darren actually knows who I am. because it wouldn't make sense. If I was releasing body cam footage and Darren had an issue with it, there's multiple ways to contact me. Why would he not reach out to me personally and say, hey, I have a problem? So I reached out to Darren and I wrote him a letter. And I'll read that to you. And then I'm going to show you some screenshots. So just bear with me for a second. Dear Darren, I hope this email finds you well. My name is Brian, and I'm the host of the LTL True Crime Podcast on YouTube. While we haven't had the chance to connect before, I recently heard through the grapevine that you may have expressed some concerns about my coverage of your best friend, Brent Kopacka, to another fellow YouTuber by the name of Titanium Built. I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself, share a bit about my background, and clarify my intentions behind the LTL True Crime Podcast. Born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, I've always been passionate about the arts, music, and engaging in meaningful conversations. Growing up in a household marketed by domestic violence, heavy drug use, and alcohol addiction due to the absence of a father figure, I personally faced significant challenges. Tragically, my best friend was murdered 32 years ago, and in 2011, my brother took his own life. So traumatic events inspired me to channel my experiences into something positive. Approximately 2 years ago, I started my YouTube channel, aiming to maintain integrity by relying on legal documents, verifying sources, and a compassionate approach towards families and victims featured in my content. Excuse me. I understand there may be rumors circulating about Brent, linking him to conspiracies in the Idaho 4 murders. I want to make it unequivocally clear that these claims are false. Coming from a family with 8 great uncles who collectively served 338 months in World War II, earning 28 medals, including 2 Purple Hearts, I'm deeply committed to ensuring that individuals like Brent, who have sacrificed for our country, are treated with respect and honor they deserve. If you express concerns about my podcast, I sincerely apologize. My primary goal is to bring forth legal documents and body cam footage to dispel misinformation, showing Brent to be remembered with dignity he deserves. Moreover, I'd like to extend an invitation to you to join me on LTL True Crime Podcast. If you ever like to share stories about Brent or raise awareness over soldiers living with PTSD, I believe I could be a valuable platform. I previously had the privilege of interviewing Shannon Taylor from Mission 22, an organization dedicated to supporting soldiers with PTSD. You can find the interview here, and I clipped that link to Darren if you wanted to watch it. So I said, thank you for taking the time to read this, and I look forward to any opportunity for open communication. Best regards, Brian, LTL True Crime Podcast. So I wrote him. And I've interviewed organizations that help soldiers with PTSD. That's how much this means to me, knowing that my great uncles probably went through a lot of PTSD. Back then it was called shell shock. So about 24 hours later, I got a response. Just give me 2 seconds here. I first want to do this. Darren, I apologize that you got dragged into this, but I wanted to make sure that it was clear that your name never gets dragged into anything like this ever again. And I am so sorry. I'm sorry for what you've gone through, the emotional stress, the torture, the lies. And I'm very sorry what your friend Brent went through, your best friend. And I'm not going to let these creators do this to you anymore. It needs to stop now. And it will end. It will end today. So my letter that I wrote was here. And if anybody wants to go back and watch that, it was episode 12, Mission 22, Shannon Taylor. Great episode of my old co-host. So I wrote Darren, and you can see it here on Facebook. And I said, he says, I've done several interviews debunking all the rumors, not sure if I want to do any more. Perfectly fine. Darren, thanks for getting back to me. I just completely understand. I'm just trying to clarify. Did you speak with Tanya Titanium Bill at any time regarding the content on my channel? I don't know. A lot of people hit me up. I don't know who they are. Not trying to stir any drama, just trying to make something clear. So he got back to me, says, I think so, but I don't remember her saying anything about you. Okay. Did you leave a voicemail recently to anyone regarding content on my channel? And he went on and says, no, I haven't left a voicemail about you. I don't even know who you are. And then this voicemail actually from him was like, you know what? I just want people to leave me alone over this. I wrote him some voice messages back and just basically said, hey, man, I'm sorry for dragging you all into this. Understood. Thanks for the clarification, Darren. I'm so sorry to bother you about this. I hope to get you get the help and healing you need. Again, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. Gave me the thumbs up. And I feel bad because after he was so frustrated and wrote this on his public page and says, if any people hit me up one more time about a YouTuber saying what I will effing block you. It's been a year. I'm sick of hearing all your BS. I've done interviews. I've debunked all your conspiracy theories. Shut the F up and leave me alone. Thank you. I love you, to those who have supported me over the last rough year. So leave these people alone. Don't drag their names into it. I think it needs to stop. I think the lies need to stop. I think you need to move on and create your own content. Tonight, in her thumbnail, she's got my tagline that I have said in multiple interviews, in multiple streams about Chelsea Grim. What have I been saying? What do I say? Every morning I wake up and my 2 feet hit the ground and I look up to the sky. And maybe someone can type it here in the chat. What do I say? What have I been saying? I'll give you a second to type it. Chelsea, where are you? Where are you, Chelsea? She has it in her thumbnail tonight. Where are you, Chelsea? Where'd you get that from, Tanya? Stop copying me. Stop trying to smear my name with people that don't know me. Stop trying to threaten me and say that you have voicemails. It's false. Darren never talked to you. And I just found it ironic. At the time that I started releasing Brent Kopacka's case, you come up with this. Maybe you did reach out to him. And maybe he gets so many messages a day. But you probably reached out to him to start shit. And he wants to be left alone. But I wanted to clear my name and make sure that this was cleared publicly, because you've done a lot here in the last couple of weeks to really come at me. And I think it needs to end. And this has been going on for months. This has been going on for months. Here's another example, really quick. Ironically, after she leaves, after I have on nice panels, dropped a link 1,000 times, told people to go over and subscribe to her. Look at everybody. Where are you, Chelsea? You know what she decided to do? And I had to actually put I had to put a playlist together and let people know. And look at Dago of all people that I don't even associate with, even when I was doing it. And he started picking up the idea. At least he went over and said, LTL True Crime Podcast, the idea of looking back at the case is a phenomenal idea. But what do? Let's go back to the beginning. Looking back. So I think, Tanya, if you spent a little bit more time on your channel and not worrying about so much what I do, maybe your content would be a little bit better. Maybe you wouldn't have to play I Won't Go There for 45 minutes straight and let her carry the show. Maybe if you put some real presentations together with your own material, people would watch you more. You'd probably get those clicks and views you want, those subscribers. Start reaching out to some real guests, Tanya. Have some real guests on your show. Stop looking at what I'm doing. I'm doing fine. I have a great crowd. And they don't like stuff like this. And if you ever want to borrow anything, just reach out to me. We'll work it out. Just give me credit. You can drop my link. But I'm done. I'm done talking about this. I'm over it. It's in the past now. And I want it to stop. Okay. Yeah. Let's pull this up. All right, Brent Kopacka video. Let's go. I just want to let everybody know, first 30 seconds, obviously you won't have any sound. It'll come on, and I actually enhanced the video of the phone call so you can hear it. I have the sound up. Yeah, it should go in about 8 more seconds.
Hey, is this Jordan? This is Officer Nuxall with Poland Police. This is Officer Nuxall with the Poland Police Department. Are you still around your apartment somewhere, or did you leave?
I'll be right back. Sorry, officer. I'm currently at a Dairy Queen.
Okay,
Loud.
it's understandable.
Sorry.
I just wanted to know where you were. So, can you kind of tell me about what's going on what's your roommate's name?
Brent.
Brent. What's going on with him?
I don't really know. Like,
Okay.
but honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, he got
Yeah, I mean, she reached out to me and was like, hey, can I use some of your stuff? And I was like, sure. She had about, someone with less than 1,000 subs on her. And I just said, you know what? I just really don't want people using all of my stuff. And she went, no problem. Easy said enough.
Okay. And he does have a rifle.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And is that the only gun that he has that you know of?
Yeah. Not yet that I know. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what type of rifle?
Listen, I'll just address this right now. It's perfectly fine, because if there's a voicemail out there, it's perfectly fine. I've just exposed her for what she's been doing here on my channel. Super hyper focused on what I do over here. Super hyper focused. She's obviously copied my content. I've just put it all out there. So if there's a voicemail that exists, then that's something that they're going to have to work out together. But in my asking, that was told to me by Darren. And again, I don't want to drag him in the middle of this. It has nothing to do with him. I just wanted to make sure that things are clear. See, Tanya went out and sought him out to talk to him and probably got him all spun up, because Tanya can't do anything for herself. Tanya can't source things. Tanya doesn't know how to do that, which is weird because she got all day to do that, but she's got a lot of time to sit and watch everybody else's channel. She doesn't focus on her channel. And it's funny, I do this minimally part-time. I work 40 hours a week. So I actually go to work and I come home and have to put things together. She got all day to be around her house. She runs, I think, just her boutique. a website. She got all that time to do this. And for some reason, she's very hyper-focused on my channel. I don't know why. It's a little weird.
Okay. Has another officer already talked to you?
So I'm going to go back now because we've missed a minute and a half of this. We'll start it over.
Hey, is this Jordan? This is Officer Nuxall with Poland Police.
She blew up my phone. I got to keep addressing this. She blew up my phone like 9 times. And she went, no one's copying you. And clearly, I just showed all of the events that she copied me on. So what is she talking about? I don't think that she even understands what she's saying. She's very hyper-focused on this channel. Very, very hyper-focused. I don't care. You can email her. Clip this stream. Let her come over here. I'll bring her up on panel. This is LTL. We talk live.
Hey, is this Jordan? This is Officer Nuxall with Poland Police. This is Officer Nuxall with the Pullman Police Department. Are you still around your apartment somewhere, or did you leave?
And the funny thing about it, she's so hyper focused on this channel. Guess what she did? She had someone in my chat tonight to see what I was going to talk about. Of course, I was going to talk about it, and that's why she waited 15 minutes to go after I started my stream because she wanted to see if I went live with it right away. Of course, I was going to talk about it.
I'll be right back. Sorry, officer. I'm currently at a Dairy Queen.
Okay. It's understandable.
Sorry.
I just wanted to know where you were. So, can you kind of tell me about what's going on what's your roommate's name?
Brent.
Brent. What's going on with him?
I don't really know.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it got to a point where just about 30 minutes ago, when I was at the apartment, he was threatening to shoot me and my roommate.
Okay. And he does have a rifle.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. All right. And is that the only gun that he has that you know of?
Yeah. Not yet that I know. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what type of rifle?
I know.
Okay.
I'm not
Has
a person. I can't tell.
yeah. Has another officer already talked to you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm getting all this information twice. I just got here, so I'm just figuring out what's going on. Okay, so how long have you lived with Brent? Okay, and have you known him for more than 3 months, or?
No. This is as long as I've known him.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever met any of his family or anything like that?
No.
Has he ever spoke about him?
Has. But I don't know much about his family history at all. So.
Okay. I'm his mom, dad, siblings. Do you know about?
Very little.
Okay. Do you know any of their names?
No.
Okay. So has he been? I mean, up until now, has he been? I guess. Can you tell me about his behavior?
Very schizophrenic. And I am a little bit of myself.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of schizophrenic behavior from him.
Okay.
Blurred, rapid speech, incoherency, aimlessly, rapidly talking to himself, hallucinating. This has been going on and off the last few months. But I have never seen him be sane. I mean, this is a whole other level of anger I've seen from him.
Okay.
This is the first time I've seen him make a threat
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and I'm trying to, if possible, get out of my lease.
Fair enough. I don't blame you.
But I don't know if I can because my landlord
I don't know about that. So when you say he's hallucinating, do you know what the hallucinations are?
In the past, verbatim, he's said that he's seen people outside spying on him, but whenever he's made those statements, I didn't see anybody outside.
Okay.
He's made statements even from his past experiences that he's touched an actual person that wasn't there.
Okay. Can I call you back in a minute? Someone's trying to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Yeah.
I work for the apartment complex. All right.
Do you happen to have keys to the apartment complex?
I can get keys to whatever apartment you need.
I don't know what apartment it is yet. 0646. Sounds like he's possibly schizophrenic also.
Are we talking 309?
I don't know. One of the employees for the complex is here, wants to know if I need keys. Do we want to have keys for the apartment? Copy. What apartment number? $311. We would like keys for that. Yes, please.
I'll go grab some.
Yes, that'd be awesome. Copy. They're en route. It's only a code. There's no key.
Yeah, it's a
Master.
It should be the master. Yeah. I live in 203s. It should be the
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
All right. New Brent Kopacka Bodycam video. I just want to pull this up really quick. So Master Rose just says that I need to focus on Chelsea. Well, I have probably one of the most comprehensive case files about Chelsea on my YouTube channel, so you should check it out. So yeah, I've been focusing a lot on it. So again, I don't like to do stuff like that, but it's been really irking me lately with the continuing to copy me, run parallel streams of all my topics. I know how it works. I drop my tiles and my thumbnails at like 7 a.m. And then all of a sudden, like ironically, it's the same subject that I'm talking about that night. Or like a day later, it's the subject that I just talked about. I know what you're doing, and we're going to put an end to it. And it's fine. I'll just say this. I'll say this. There is a voicemail. Let's see the screenshots leading up to the voice message or voicemail. Because I guarantee you spun up Darren about me to have him say something about me. Because he didn't even know who I was. He didn't even know who I was. So I'll end the show with that. We'll be back tomorrow night with a fantastic guest. Aiden Turtleboy Carney is going to be here live on the show. And we're going to talk Karen Reed and get caught up on what is going on specifically in his case, as you know. I want to thank everybody for checking out LTL True Crime Podcast tonight. I want to thank all the new members and subscribers. We just dropped a lot of memberships here. Casey, thank you so much for gifting out the 1 membership. So we have a new member here. And we move on. We will move on. Carrie H with the 5. Thank you. Let's get some new members coming in. You can go over and watch all the members only content. I appreciate it. LTL will move on. LTL will be strong. We will continue to bring transparency and integrity to all these cases. I don't want to make it about drama. I don't want to use these cases to make it about drama. but I'm just getting very irritated lately at some things that I'm seeing and people are emailing me about constantly. I just don't like people that lie. That doesn't sit well with me. Leave Darren alone. He doesn't want to be dragged into this anymore. I think I've clarified my end. And let's just say there is a voicemail. That's perfectly fine. He has every right to feel the way he does. And maybe he just didn't want to get involved in it, so he shoved it off like that. But go ahead, Tanya. You play that voicemail. But let's see the screenshots of the conversation leading up to that, the full screenshots. Because I guarantee you probably whipped him up into a frenzy. Because I don't think that he just randomly reached out to you and said, hey, LTL True Crime Podcast. He clearly said, he didn't even know who I was. So we'll end with that. I appreciate everybody tonight for checking out the panel. We just did close to 2 hours. I will be back tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all have a good night, and we'll talk soon. Bye.